somehow keep getting nowhere. Let me know. Do you feel that way? Because here's the deal. As studio owners and educators, truthfully, the list of things to get done can seem so overwhelming. I mean, then you add the roles of mother, wife, caregiver, so on and so forth. And the weight of it all can really feel like a ton of bricks. And so in this week's episode, I will be sharing the planning system I use to take back control of my life by taking control of my calendar and planning my life to make sure all the things got accomplished. And so if you want a copy of the show notes, drop calendar below to get access. I would absolutely adore for us to do that. So as you're coming on, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always love to know who is here with me when we are coming on live every single Wednesday. And if you know somebody who needs to be part of this conversation, sprinkle the love around, right? Because the truth of the matter is, this conversation can be had by anyone and everyone who's feeling overwhelmed by the amount of tasks that are faced and put in front of them. And whether you're a dance studio owner, teacher, educator, or not, I think a lot of this and this system that we're going to discuss today can be applied to everyone's life, truthfully, right? And so if you're joining me, say, hey, what's up? Even if you come back in on the replay, I would like to know that as well, because I still come back in and have that conversation and pick up and talk where we left off. So if you come back in on the replay, I want to know that as well. And just let me know, hashtag replay in the comments, and we will have a conversation. So let's go ahead, and who wants to get this party started? Who wants to get this party started? I am going to come back in here, and I know it takes a minute, but make sure, let's see, this is being kind of silly the other day, and so just want to make sure, yeah, I'm getting an error. Kind of silly the other day. Okay, perfect. It looks like it is working now. It's giving some like this error sign, y'all. So I'm so glad to know that it is working for us and we can actually get this party started. I'm over here just like double checking. Okay. All right. Yay! It's working. All right. So are we ready? Let's go. Let's go. All right. Well, I need to double check. You guys, you know me. I'm like, bear with me. We're going to go with the flow here because I know that it's being weird over here. And so I'm going to switch it and put the link for this guy right here. Because in Teach Preschool Dance, which I know so many of you come on to watch in Teach Preschool Dance, it is not streaming there. So I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to let everyone know in Teach Preschool Dance because for some reason, it's not broadcasting there. So if you're coming on, say, hey, Erin, what's up? I would love to know. All right. Let's put this little link here, paste, and hopefully this works for everyone because I'm hoping it's in the comments. Let's see. I'm going to do this. All right. Oh, oopsie daisy. Y'all. Oh my goodness. Y'all. Okay. Post. Let's see if that works. You know what? I'm all about adapting and overcoming because for whatever reason, technology doesn't always work the way we want it to. Okay, so we're 6 minutes in, but that's okay. Let's just start all over again. Right? So now that hopefully we have everybody who's coming in, we'll be able to know where to find us. And we will make it all great for everybody. So, oh my gosh, right? Lordy. This thing is cuckoo loco for whatever reason. All right, so for realsies this time. For realsies this time. Let me, you know what I can also do? Okay, so if you're joining me, say hey, what's up? I need to know who is here with me as we're navigating through these crazy technological things. So we're going to go ahead, say hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I would love to know who is with me. And the question of the day is, do you ever feel like a hamster running on a wheel? You know, same long list of things to do over and over and over, and yet you somehow keep getting nowhere. Because here's the deal. As a studio owner, the list of things to get done can seem totally overwhelming. Then add the roles of mother, wife, caregiver, so on and so forth, and the weight of all the responsibility can really feel like a ton of bricks. And so in this week's episode, I will be sharing the planning system that I use to take back control of my life by taking control of my calendar, and planning how I plan my life to make sure that all the things get accomplished. And so if you're wanting to get a copy of today's show notes, drop a calendar below in the comments. I would love to know, and we can give you access to that, into that planning system. And so if you're new here, hello, my friends. Hello. I am Erin Burd, and I support dance studio owners and educators to grow their businesses by creating their own unique vision of success, all without the overwhelm, the burnout, or sacrificing your own personal lives. And so I'm really excited to dive into this topic because actually this conversation has come up over 3 times this week when I'm talking to whether they're my own clients or other people in the industry, and feeling very overwhelmed by trying to get all the things done and really feeling like there's never enough time to get it all done. And so when I was in that place, I knew that I had to make a shift. And for me, it all started and ended with my calendar, and really getting control of that. And so if you're joining me, say hello, let me know. And also, if you know somebody who needs to, hey there, my friend. Hello, Christine. If you know someone who needs to hear this conversation, sprinkle the love around, let them know about it, because honestly, this conversation can be good for anybody. It could be good for somebody who's just struggling. They might be a new mom. They might be having to take care of their aging parents now. Right? There's so many reasons why this could be valuable. And so I want you guys to feel free to share the love. Not only will it be a great gift to me, but it will also be a great gift to those who you know who could need to hear this conversation. And so I have to tell you guys, the first thing is really And taking control is deciding what matters. And this is where we have to really sit down and think about our values. And at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, what really matters? And for me, people matters, right? People matter. Being in integrity matters. But at the end of the day, sometimes we give ourselves tasks that don't really matter. And when I say that, I'm saying this with all the love, all the fierce love. But sometimes we feel like we have to do all the things and we have to be extra, right? We need to put extra sparkles, extra rhinestones, extra, extra, extra. And the truth of the matter is that, does that really matter at the end of the day? And so the first step of taking control and getting your life back and getting control of it all is really deciding what matters. Deciding what matters. And sometimes I hear when I'm talking to studio owners that they start to think that they have to do all the things, right? And what I need you to lean into is that not everything is equally important. Let me know if you've ever felt that way, that you have this long to-do list and you cannot decide where to even start because it feels like it all has to be done and it all seems equally important. Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Because, I'm even guilty of that. Sometimes I have this long list and I'm like, all the things have to get done. But if I'm really being objective, not everything is equally important. And we have to become objective and give values to certain things, right? So, as an example, right? If we're not feeling well and we need to go to the doctor, that is more important. Our health and wellness has more value and is more important, right, than us adding extra rhinestones to a costume just because we need it to be bigger and better. And you guys might be like rolling your eyes at me right now, but the truth of the matter is I'm saying this from experience and from conversations that I have had. I had a client tell me one time that she rescheduled her doctor's appointment because she needed to finish rhinestoning. And I said, well, like, does it need them? And when she stopped, she's like, well, no, not really. So you're putting off your health and your well-being to add extra rhinestones that no one, for a show, that no one is even going to know that you actually, that was a thing, right? We have to determine what is actually important. And not everything carries the same weight. It just doesn't. And so when we can get really clear and really objective about that, right, then clarity starts to come. And for me, I love me a good system. And so I wanted to share with you real quick today, like the foundational pieces of my system and how it actually created so much clarity for me, allowed me to see what was really important and what needed to be get done. And I actually ended up getting so much more done because I had such clarity around my calendar and my system and really my priorities at the end of the day. And so here's where I have to tell y'all, let me know, when is the last time you sat down and looked at your priorities and your goals? Because your priorities for your calendar and your system should align with your goals. And if the things that you are doing do not directly impact your goals, and you're doing lots of other little things here and there just because you feel like they need to be done, we need to take a look at that. We need to take a look at it. And so let me tell you, for me, it all started and ended with color-coded planning system magic. Right? So if you've been around a while, you know me, and I love myself some post-it notes, right? Right? I love post-it notes. And post-it notes for me, it was a visual representation of categories. So the first thing that I thought about was, okay, what are my big goals, right? And when I say big goals, I mean maybe my big goal for the week, maybe my big goal for the quarter, for the month, right? And looking at those big goals or big shiny projects that I want to get done and breaking them down into smaller bite-sized bits, okay? So we have to look at what is the big goals. So for some of my clients, when they come to me and they're like, I want to launch a new mobile program, but I'm really stressed with time because I'm trying to juggle all the things. And I'm finding that I don't have the amount of time that I would really like to devote to launching this program. And obviously, my first question is, well, are you trying to find the time, or are you intentionally making the time? Because there is a difference, y'all, between finding the time to do something and making the time to do something. When something is a priority to you, you make the time for it because it is important. If you're trying to find the time, let me tell you what, you will find lots of other things to do instead that don't really matter and move the needle forward. So, are you making the time? Or are you trying to find the time? Let me know. I want you to marinate on that one. But let me know. I want to know. And if you're coming back in on the replay and you have an aha moment or a nugget, drop it in the comments below, #nugget, and I would love to know that. Okay, so let's talk about this color-coded planning system. So for me, I personally start with a good old paper calendar, y'all. And I really start to lay out what is my life look like. And I get these Post-it notes, right? And I have a color for everything, right? I have a separate color for my family obligations, right? I have a color that's specifically for deliverables. Okay, so what does that mean? So deliverables can be things like, for me, my coaching calls with my clients, right? That is a deliverable. They have paid me to come and do a coaching call with them. So I need to deliver on that coaching call, right? A deliverable for a studio owner could be things like, it could be a sending out invoices. It could be, there's lots of different deliverables. Choreography could be a deliverable, like getting the recital venue set could be a deliverable. There could be so many things that are deliverable, but for me, I have a color for my coaching client calls, right? Because someone has paid me and I need to deliver on that. So I block that out in my calendar with a Post-it of a specific color. Then I look at, okay, what are my revenue generating activities? Because that is a priority. If we do not do revenue generating activities and we do not bring in revenue, we do not have a business. The money has to come in. And so, y'all, this is a great way to tell you what's the most important thing on your to-do list today. Is it a revenue generating activity? Because if it's not, probably not top priority in the business side. Now, I plan my calendar where certain days are set up for certain tasks. And I batch create, right? Or I batch or I time block. So this is key. So my color-coded sticky note system plus time blocking and batching of tasks will actually allow you to get so much more done. Now, this is where I have to have you lean in, right? And sometimes this is where tough love comes in. But so many times it's easy for us to say, well, I have XYZ, I gotta go to the grocery store, I gotta make dinner, I gotta do bedtime, and those are all things that must be done. Yes, right? But do you have to absolutely go to the grocery store? In this day and age, you don't. You can do a grocery order online and either pick it up or have it delivered to free up that hour that you would have spent at the grocery store. What revenue generating activities could you do in that hour? Right? And what you could bring in during that hour could be so much more than you spending an hour a week inside the grocery store walking around, getting what you need. Right? You could spend 10 minutes, order it, right? And have it delivered and free up your schedule. So what are the sort of things that you can do to offload these sort of tasks that will free up more time in your calendar? And if we start to think about it in those terms, and that what can we offload, right? Or just think about in a new creative way. You don't have to go to the grocery store, y'all. You don't. We know that, right? So start to look at how do you get control of your calendar. And the first thing is I lean into the idea of if I were to make an appointment with my doctor because I'm ill, or my kid's doctor because they're not feeling well, or if I make an appointment and I write into my calendar, it is me making a commitment not only to myself but to somebody else. And so the key to really taking control is to really commit and to decide, right? And so this is why using your calendar, and for me, I do paper calendar and I also do a digital calendar as well. But I do these because it actually is setting in stone a commitment. And I am not someone who breaks my commitments, right? And so this color-coded planning system really allows me to look at things as these are my commitments, right? And to also weed out things that maybe I'm committing to that I shouldn't be committing to, right? Okay, so I suggest everybody getting their Post-it notes, color-coded sticky systems, and creating and deciding what color means what, right? So blue, maybe blue is, for me, it is coaching calls and client delivery, right? So I block out Mondays for me are all about delivering. On Mondays, I have my group coaching call. I have private calls with my clients. I am reviewing things for them. I am creating deliverables for my clients on Mondays. and it's blue, right? And then, hello, on Tuesdays, I'm working on content creation. Those are pink, right? They're hot pink because they're just so lively and fun. But I really focus on content creation. And so what does content creation mean for me, right? That might be email blasts. It might be social media creation and posts. It might be those sort of things. It might be content creation, might be choreography or coming up with lesson plans, right? If that's something that you need to do. But that is my focus of the day or of the morning, right? Sometimes you might split your time blocking, and the morning is one thing and the afternoon is another, right? Or early afternoon and then evening is, right? You're teaching classes. So, but color coding it and actually putting it in your calendar is key, y'all. It's key. And then we have things like Financial Fridays, and we're making sure to review our financials on Friday. Wednesday is all about, right, leads generation. And I mean, let's be honest, y'all. Coming on here and having my weekly live show where I get to share with you, that is part of a lead strategy. I'm pretty transparent, you guys. I love to share and I love to give value. But I also want to use this as a platform to let you know that if you need more support, I am here. So that is lead generation, right? So I do that every Wednesday. That's in my calendar. It is a commitment that I have made to myself, to my business, and to you that I will be here every Wednesday to support you, right? And then Wednesday afternoons are about my team and meeting with my team and checking in with them and making sure our projects are going and everybody's on task, right? Thursdays, I have my top priorities are part of my system. And by focusing my energy and my brain on that particular thing, you will get more done. And the other thing that if you can lean into the idea, right? If you just got only one thing done today, if chaos happened and you got nothing else done but one thing, right? What would that one be thing to move the needle forward for you? And eat the frog, y'all, and do it first. Do it first. Get it done. So if all of a sudden you get a call from your kid's school that they're sick and you need to come pick them up, or right, you get a flat tire and like things happen in life. So eat the frog. But you have to be able to prioritize and decide. And by having this system, this color-coded system in your calendar, you actually already know what you need to go and do that day when you walk in and you sit down and you get started. You're not like fuddling through the giant to-do list and or even starting out thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do today? Right? Well, I know today I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this call with y'all, right? And it was prepped last Tuesday because that was my content creation day, right? If you create a system for your calendar and for your life, you will take back control and you will get more accomplished and you will kick that overwhelm to the curb. There's always going to be things in life that get thrown at you and we can deal with them better when we know how do we shift things around. And for me, y'all, the beautiful part is this Post-it note system because Post-it notes are sticky. What does that mean? If life throws me a curveball, I can just slide them over into a place where maybe I have time because I also know to block out chunks of time that are just for the unexpected, or if something takes longer than I thought it was going to take. So if you can think of these big blocks as like your pavers, you know, when you're putting down a walkway and you have pavers, right? These are your big blocks, right? And you put them down in a system, but then you have to come back and you have to put in gravel in between, right? To fill it in and to really solid it up. So I look at these big blocks and these big categories like content creation, client deliverables, financial Fridays. I look at those as my big blocks. And then I purposefully put in this like little buffer. And that is like the sand and the gravel, the cracks in between. And we fill those in with those little tasks that we all need to get done, but only when we achieve those big boulders, those big pavers first. Does that make sense, y'all? Let me know in the comments. And when all's said and done, the truth of the matter is that consistency is key. Creating the system is work. It's going to take time. But if you are consistent and you commit to it, you will see that this is absolutely a game changer and will allow you to not only get more done, but decide what is actually important and what really doesn't matter. And you will magically find more free time in your calendar by just focusing, time blocking, using this color-coded system to your advantage. And let me know, are you a paper planner kind of gal or guy, or are you a digital? For me, I use both. And not because I'm trying to be extra, right? But because for me, I actually really enjoy planning, pen to paper, pen to post-it note, whatever. And then I transfer those big blocks and those big nuggets that need to be into our team calendar. So everybody knows exactly what's going on. And it's just not me and my paper planner knowing all the things. My team needs to know what's going on, when things are happening and what's happening. And so for me, we do use both. But I want to know, are you a paper planner kind of gal, or do you prefer a digital? And if you do prefer one or the other, have you found consistency is hard to do? Right? You might start off the year with a planner and you're like, yes, I'm so excited about this planner. And you do it for a month or two and then it's blank. I want to know. Let me know in the comments below. I always want to know that as well. All right, my friends. So let's just do a speedy little recap today, because here's the deal. For me, I knew that taking back control of my life was really taking control of my calendar. I had gone astray and thought that I need to do all the things. And when anybody asked me for help, I was the person who automatically said yes. But I had to kind of evaluate what was important to me. What were my big goals? And if doing those things did not align with them, I had to really lay out the boundaries and say no to some things. Or I can't do that right now, but insert the answer, right? And what made that easy to do was taking control of my calendar and looking at how do these activities really align with my big goals. And so, that meant really deciding what actually mattered at the end of the day, right? What was getting me to my big goals? And then not everything was equally important. They just aren't. And so I did have to place values on some things to really realize what was going to move the needle forward the most, what was going to align with my values, my vision, and my goal for not only my business, but my personal life. Because the truth of the matter is that they are not two separate things. They do intertwine. It is a marriage between business and personal life. When you are a studio owner, when you are a business owner, you don't leave everything at the door, no matter how hard you try. And so you have to make sure that they all align and everything is on the same track, right? And so for me, that was coming up with a color-coded planning system that created magic in my life. And the truth of the matter is that it allowed me to see how I was wasting so much time going back and forth between different things and going down this to-do list that never felt like it got done. And honestly, a lot of times I was doing those tasks that didn't matter because they were easier and they weren't things that either I was avoiding doing because I was fearful or hesitant or didn't know how to really tackle it. And so by giving myself a color-coded planning system, it allowed for magic to happen and for me to really focus and get more done. But none of that matters unless you commit to consistency, because consistency is key. And setting yourself up for success by having a system is where the magic lies. And so, my friends, you can absolutely get more done. You just have to decide. And it's about making time for things that are important versus trying to find the time. And so my hope for you today is that you can take a moment to really look at your calendar as this amazing tool that can help you create clarity and confidence in knowing exactly what you need to do to move the needle forward. And of course, if you are still needing support with that and you're still feeling overwhelmed and you know that you can take this foundation, but you really want to, go to the next level, then we can talk. And we can talk. But what I also want you to know is that you have the answers because you are so creative. You are absolutely amazing. You are a rock star and you are badass and you can do this, right? But you get to decide. You get to decide. And so, my friends, if you are wanting a copy of today's show notes, drop a calendar below and we will get those to you. And I am Erin Burd. I am dance studio strategist and I work with studio owners and educators just like you to create their own unique vision of success without that overwhelm or burnout or sacrificing your personal lives, because the truth is you can have it all. And so until next week, y'all, stay awesome, stay you, and I will see you next Wednesday, same time, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, for another episode of the Erin Burd Live Show, where I will actually be having an amazing guest with me next week, where we're going to be talking all things studio owners. And I hope that you will join us for more joy, more business strategy and tips, and a little more awesome to your day. So I'm going to leave you there. Have a fantastic day, my friends, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon.